So the way we do this is basically, this is a 3-year CSA with only 2 million. We try to basically collect a lot of the information that is already out there, reflect together with the cities, package this, have good practices that we can share back into the community, find good examples where things work, understanding why they work. Was it just good luck or bad luck, or is there something systemic that we can understand better how to make it work? One thing we are trying to do here is to develop a NEB-inspired world. This is really complex because reality is complex. You don't have to read all this or understand it yet, but come to one of our sessions and we'll talk about it more. The idea is that we have a lot of different indicators, a lot of different sectors that we all kind of want to deal with at once. We have the standard environmental or technical performance, and we have financial, but we are often missing out the governance part, or the quality of life, social performance, things like that. So we are trying to build a circle around this of, hey, if you're actually doing something in the city, let's say you're doing bike sharing for cargo bikes at the city, there's a little bit of reducing CO2 emissions. It's not about mobility, it's how to do it locally, what participatory processes are in there. Maybe it also makes someone some money. It does something with resilience in the local areas. So how do we explore the co-benefits better? Because we know they are there, quite often they are hidden, and also the co-non-benefits. Quite often we try to improve one of these points and the others get worse. So this is a way of thinking about how we make a difference within the cities. And this is an initial version. So we are working on this more. We are mapping examples on top of this to understand how we can make these relations between the topics more explicit and make it easier to think about, to reason about, and to build it into how we do the transition processes. This is also part of a deliverable that's already out, so you can read up on this, but we are developing this further to make it actually actionable. Right now it's a lot on the conceptual stage. And this goes also into a lot of the rest of how we do work in our projects. Not just the collaborative and open innovation co-creation bit, but how to do that inside this and how to get the different stakeholders, how to identify them, how to build the links between those. That's the very short introduction. A lot of the information of this is already out on the page. Our deliverables are all public, so you can read up on that, follow what we're doing, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And we currently are running out of this project a number of city sessions. So we are working with currently 60 cities or city networks all across Europe. We have 3 sandbox cities, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, and Bologna, that we work with more detail, where we test things out in sandbox test beds. But we work with all the other ones around this to really get it more involved, like to make a difference with the cities. Not all of these are mission cities. Quite a lot of these are not. They are rather smaller places that still want to make a difference. They don't know yet how to do it in detail, but also a lot of mission cities that don't that. So how do we get that in? And we are opening up a second wave of applications for this. So if you're interested, if you're a city, if you know a city that is interested here, come join us, come talk to me afterwards. The core part of this is open to cities. That's the way the project is structured and the commission funded us. But we are very open to sharing, to discuss other things as well. And we also work, of course, all of the NEB office to be part of. So some of you will also talk directly to, depending how your project is structured. And that's it for this one. I'm happy to take a few questions. Otherwise, follow us all here.
Right there, it's very quick. We live it. Very probably. You give him the now you're probably you will. So nice presentation. So I know we've had exchange in the past.
Is this all?
Can you actually yes it wish. Just to make quick digiNEB, right? So can you see you've got 3 years, you have 2, but you're gonna have some results next 6 to 8 months. some of the things that we presented yesterday tend to be toolkit. If the lowers the cities here, what's, again, off the top of your head, do you think we can do something cool together?
We have to. Yes, we will run a little bit of a similar approach like you. We will collect some stories. We will compile them, package them up in a bit that they are more implementable, we're actually driven. There will be definitely also some digital tools in here that we have from the cities, from other stakeholders. We also want some of the digiNEB things to go into this one because there's a lot of support that's needed for the cities.
Where will the digital tools in CrAFt be housed?
They are not housed. We don't build any of them ourselves. We are reaching out and making the connections to a lot of the information that's there. We might have some sessions in the future specifically on digital and on tools, but we might also link to others, link to you for the specific digital bits.
Right.
Because we have rather limited resources. So a lot of it is really on urban transitions.
Okay, that sounds good.
But absolutely, we have to talk about this a bit more. Okay, then now I'm shaking my head. Now I'm one of the coordinators for the NEB-STAR project, and Heather here is with me as one of the local site and testbed managers. So I'm going to move out. This is NEB-STAR. Here you prepare our Stavanger as a NEB Lighthouse project. We chose our project to be based on one main lighthouse city plus two twinning cities that we work with to share results, to test things out with. First question, who knows where Stavanger is? Oh, we need to change that. Maybe so early in the morning. We have this beautiful map that we brought. And because we are so European, we didn't map actually Stavanger on here. It's around there. Down there it is. Yes, it's also early for me. I'm so sorry. So we did map us, of course, out. There's Stavanger. And the way this project is structured is we do a lot of the co-creation, connecting NEB principles to the ongoing transformation processes in the city. So we do the usual that we've already heard quite a lot now these days, co-creation towards beautiful planetary cities, different ways of working with the local communities, food-based, nature-based solutions, meeting spaces, structures, circular transformation. And we build this under the overall goal of Stavanger territorial transformation plan. How does the city want to work with the overall transformation? What sort of plans, processes, etc. need to be in place? So that's the way of how does the city do business. It includes the territorial transformation plan, but also the organizational changes, the climate action plans, everything else of how to get this towards climate neutral cities by 2030. Stavanger is one of the 12 cities of the 112. We're quite happy to have 3 of the 12 in Norway. And we have 2 test beds in here. We have one in Pillarstøtte, one inside 4016. This is very different types of test beds. One is existing, very organically grown structure within the city. The other one is more of a brownfield development. So we are capturing the broadness of how transitions happen within cities. And Heather will talk about the details of that afterwards. So we have also loops within these test beds. They will do some things, test them out, try how they work, and then after half of the project switch around. Who is going to first and learns from the other one? How can we share these out within there? Then we have a larger loop of evaluating what we're doing locally here. And in parallel to that, we have a wider learning exploitation outreach with the Nordics, which is this part, and with Europe, which is this part, but also through DTP we have. And we have 2 twinning cities here, Prague and Utrecht, that we work with. They have their own approaches as well. They have their own tools, and we are linking them up through the way we make this transition happen. We do what the outreach, we are linking it to the CrAFt project as well, and to a few other things. So we are not just a Norwegian city that makes things happen, but we try to do it very European style and with the European transition in mind, because otherwise we don't make the impact we have to do. These are our partners. I'm from NTNU. We are coordinating this. Then we have the Stavanger ecosystem with the municipality and a lot of local partners that make things happen on the ground, that test things out. Then we have the two other cities with the city itself, a representative organization of the city and local university. And how much time have we left? I have to be faster. So very briefly, 4 dramatic challenges. I'm not going to read them all because the group here knows what this is about. So I will hand over to Heather for the details of what do we really do, what does it mean for what we do at the sites.
Right, thanks. So basically, I'm one of the unusual people in the room. I'm an engineer, and I live in the areas where we would transform. And this is my first year project, so I'm kind of starstruck, but this is kind of cool. I'm going to see where I'm really proud. We used to be the energy capital, but we are the energy capital in Norway. We're quite fat and happy. Sit up there and we've got loads of money, it's not oil, and we have to transition into acting for a future. And so I've just been very ambitious and said, okay, we're going to do this by 2030, and we're going to join the NEB program to do it not only climate neutral or regenerative, but also in a beautiful and inclusive way. And that's got us thinking. It's not business as usual anymore. We have the municipalities plan, the transformation plans, territorial, the green plan of all this, but how do we link that to our everyday business, to our local inhabitants, and actually create change? And this is how we're going to do it. We have Pedalsgata, which is a long street connected to Stavanger city centre with the historical Whitehead's churches, the station and the court at the start, and then through food and barber shops and lots of small local businesses, we move into a more residential area, and people actually live. This is the wooden house part of Stavanger. It's a cultural heritage site, and people actually live here as well as the businesses. So how do we take care of both of those interests in what we're doing? So this is going to be focused on food and culture and more that kind of transition. And then we have this beautiful site 4016, which is just outside the city centre on the main motorway. We have all of 16 trees, guys. So we have contaminated land, an old industrial site, plenty of potential to refurbish what we have and build on existing spaces. So just to show this again, a bird's eye view from the top of the church. So this is a thriving neighborhood, but there are also some challenges. And how do we address those in what we're doing? And how do we also, in the transformation, include nature-based solutions? So we've already seen just working with this project and the co-creation part of it, even the municipality is working together with the different silos of the municipality in different ways. So it's already starting to create change. And then again, Site 4016, I represent a small consultancy owned by SMEDIC, who is a local real estate developer, and they own the buildings with caches here. And as you can see, there are schools and nursing homes. There's a lot of green and blue spaces around us, but this is the challenge to transform this area and to do it in a scalable way. So what can we reduce from here at Pedalsgata and the other way around? And so we want to create a regional hub for the construction industry. The construction industry, the 40% industry. You guys asked yesterday, what should every architect know? But what should every engineer know? We should know the same things about trees and about plants and soil. And who are the locals? Let's leave the local soil. That's what we need to know. We as architects can't do this alone. Urban planners can't do this alone. We all have to be part of it. So we think that creating this regional hub for the construction industry, we can attract
students to Stavanger University. Why? Because we can change the for InterCERN industry. We can lower the resource use, the waste production, make it more circularly generative. And that's part of this project, is how to make this a more regenerative area. So we're learning by doing it, and then we can transform, or we can use that in further projects. And we also have the youth element of youth entrepreneurship. They basically do relation camps as students or before there's like when they're still at school, with like high school. They do student companies, and we're gonna locate that up here at site, because a lot of the kids in the areas around here, they drop out of school. So how can we make this area relevant for that? What do they want to see here? How can they feel ownership here? And then we can connect that to the construction industry, just screaming out for more work and labor and skilled people. So how do we connect those two and do that with the municipality, with the smart city? And I'm so sorry about the absence of our slides, so we haven't gotten that far. We know what to look now. This is a messy slide because we're in the so-called co-frustration process. We have no idea what we're doing and who's going to do it and where it's going to end up on digiNEB or whatever. But we have lots of ideas and things we've written into the application for NEB-STAR. But we also have a lot of digital tools that may, when I was made aware of digiNEB, I'm thinking, well, we've got loads of things that we could share here. We've got Master, which is a caving program to get kids in. Again, we use Fortnite stuff they know, 13-year-olds, before they decide what they want to be when they grow up. You know, that way I'm linked into the construction industry. We have all the citizen apps, the people's footprint, you know, how can we make people aware of their footprint? What do people want to see? We've got makerspaces, testing artists in residence. That'd be great. Planting the construction industry to artists. I'm really looking forward to that one. So yeah, and then we have the app, which is for the construction cluster. So that's something we can use as a platform to share everything we're doing. And we also have the barcode from Budapest. So we're going to test that as well in Stavanger. So that's connecting some of the face. Yeah. What's like that? And it questions the question, which is art. And so basically, here's our transition from oil, so we'll just say, in its coffin, they carry out. And this is Stavanger, and they're talking about building artist collectives in refurbishing the old houses near the square. And this is my husband. This is my husband. I'm just going to kill him, but anyway. So this is the end of the Scotland. And here we have a lot of the social entrepreneurship. There's a bike repair shop. Just how do we connect it to what does the local neighborhood need? And I actually used it without even knowing it was like a social entrepreneur. It's just something I needed in my neighborhood. I feel this so. And this map means learn to be here or inclusive. So this is what we're aiming for. Nice.